Only Coffee with Kent. We're talking about the Colts. We're going to talk about the Hoosiers, of course, coming off that Rose Bowl win that was for the ages, 38-3 against a good Alabama team. Not a great Alabama team, but a good Alabama team. Not bad. Indiana just so much better. And the people who are kind of dogging out Indiana a little bit as benefiting from a kind of a weak schedule, that's just utter nonsense. Hell, Old Dominion won their bowl. Old Dominion won a lot of games. Kennesaw State won a lot of games. Indiana State, I give you, that's a cupcake. But other than that, Illinois was ranked in the top 10 when Indiana played them. Oregon was ranked in the top 5 when Indiana played them. Ohio State was number 1. I mean, what kind of teams do you want Indiana to play, for God's sake? Talk about the gauntlet that Alabama went through. Alabama played a bunch of mediocres from a mediocre conference. The SEC in the best football conference in the country, that belongs to the Big Ten. Big Ten very likely to win. In fact, they will. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Big Ten is going to win the national championship. The winner of Indiana-Oregon is going to paste either Miami or Ole Miss, and it's going to be Indiana. Because Indiana, the way they play, with all 11 doing their jobs on every play, that you can't beat a fundamentally sound team like that. This is a team really that has no weakness. And I'm not necessarily talking about the talent. I'm talking about the character. I'm talking about the personalities of the players who play for Indiana. They hold each other accountable. If you can build a culture that quickly where people hold each other accountable, where you've got guys like Fernando Mendoza, you've got Aiden Fisher, D'Angelo Pons, Mikhail Kamara, guys who will stand up in meetings and get in the asses of the people who are not performing correctly and either gain complete buy-in or complete buyout, meaning pack a bag and get the hell out of here, you're going to win a lot of games. If you can do that and you are moderately talented, you're going to win all your games. It doesn't happen in college football. It doesn't happen in college basketball. Look at what Mike Woodson had at Indiana for 4 years. A bunch of disparate parts, guys who did not like each other on the court, did not fit together on the court. They played like 5 disparate fingers, not like a closed fist, and they lost against good teams. Michigan is playing unbelievably good basketball, team-first basketball right now. They are really, really good. They beat USC yesterday by 30. That's an ass whooping. USC was ranked, for God's sake, and Michigan went through them like a hot knife through butter. Good morning, David. Go IU. Joseph, good day to you. Glenn O'Neill. Good morning, Toby. Absolutely. So I love the way this Indiana team plays because Curt Cignetti was right in his post Rose Bowl press conference talking about the lessons that can be gleaned from a team that plays like this. They're really pretty profound. What you're teaching everybody at the Kelley School of Business who cares about Indiana basketball or any other business, what they're teaching is if you get everybody to do this, you're going to win. If you can get everybody to buy in, if leadership can get that buy-in from everybody where they don't believe it's all about them, but it's all about us, you're going to win. Good morning. How you doing? Finis stimuli. This year it is what it is. But I was blown away when I saw IU will play Oregon. What the hell? I totally agree. The preceding as the bracket moves forward, that's wrong. You shouldn't have 1 playing 5 and 6 playing 10. That shouldn't happen. Indiana should be playing Miami, and Ole Miss should be playing against Oregon. That's the way that should work. You should reseed football. I don't believe in reseeding basketball because you destroy brackets. Like you couldn't do brackets if you reseeded basketball. And brackets kind of move this thing forward. That level of legalized gambling really makes the NCAA tournament, March Madness, very profoundly successful from a ratings perspective. Everybody's got buy-in in all 69 of those games. but minus the play-in games. So 65 games or 63, whatever it is. You've got buy-in because people have made picks that affect, you know what? Winning a pool and getting a couple hunch, it's kind of nice, right? In football, nobody's playing brackets. So get out of this preordained seeding deal because it's just patently unfair. It's ridiculous. So 100% right, Toby. Can we talk about baseball? You heard anything about the Cubs? No. Here's what the Cubs do every single year, Joseph, to wet your whistle for baseball. The Cubs, they make noise. They don't win the bidding. They know where the bidding's going to end. Let's say the bidding for a player, they know that the winning bid, the Mets are going to come in over the top, or the Yankees or the Dodgers, 4 years, $42 million. The Cubs will get in on the bidding so they can say they're in on the bidding, 4 years, $35 million, knowing that they're not going to win that bidding process. But they can say we're in on it. We just came up short. They know what they're doing. If they wanted to win the bidding, they'd get the bidding done. They'd win the bidding. The Cubs aren't about that. The Cubs are about winning 85 to 87 games, 83 to 87 games, and keeping Wrigley Field packed, keeping people interested, but not winning a championship. That's what the Cubs are about. They have no interest in winning a championship because winning a championship is expensive. And if they got to spend an extra $150 million to do it without any gain in revenue, they're about the money. Tom Ricketts went to the University of Chicago Business School and got his MBA to make money, not to win championships. So he's making money. I got no problem with that, except I'm a Cubs fan and it pisses me off. From a principle standpoint, what are you in business to do? You're in business to make money, right? And provide a sound kind of work environment for your employees. That's a good place to start, right? That's what Ricketts does. And so the Cubs don't win. They'll never win again. They won in 2016, so they got that thing done. And from that point on, this has been about money and nothing but money. Sorry. Colts, the thing that baseball needs to do is they got to get to a place where they have a hard cap. Baseball gets a hard cap like the NFL has a hard cap, they got a chance. If they don't do that, they have no chance. Football is, the Colts had the same chance every single year to win as the Jets, Giants, Patriots, Lions, Bears, Rams, Niners, Dolphins, Saints, name the team, Chiefs. You have the same resources. You're required to use the same resources. And then you've got kind of this equanimity among the 32 teams where your team's got a shot. Like the Colts, they had a shot this year. They started 7-1. Since then, they're 1-7. Other teams went 7-1. Hell, the Texans haven't lost since what? Halloween? The Jaguars, they aren't losing games. I think the Texans have won something like 8 in a row. And the Jaguars have won 9, 7, something like that. Teams get hot. Colts didn't get hot. So now you got Riley Leonard playing a mop-up role. How about this? Over the last 8 seasons, the Colts have had, as their quarterback in the season finale, 8 different starting quarterbacks. How about that? That's unbelievable. That's crazy. And starting quarterbacks, pretty damn similar, right? You did have Anthony Richardson start in the opener in 2 successive years, but before that, to get guys who started in successive years openers, I think you got to go back to like 2014, 2015 when it was Luck. That's crazy. Justin Beard says, well, oh no, I made this available for everyone. Oh my God, I forgot to do that. Yeah. All right, we're going to keep going. If only there was a team that could be IU showing a clip from last year's. Oh, yeah. Notre Dame's getting all haughty, aren't they? Notre Dame's getting haughtier than hell. Yeah, we beat Indiana. Can you imagine that Notre Dame has fallen so far that the fans are now saying we're the only team that has not lost to Indiana? Can you believe that? That's unbelievable. Hold on. Justin, you know what? Yeah, free trial. That's what this is. Anyway, this is what we do every Saturday. I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to go to members only. This is my mistake. I've done this twice in the amount of time we're doing it. I'll replay it, and we'll do the members only. But, yeah, this is a free trial. That's what it is. That's really funny. We call it a sneak peek. I'll tell you what. I'll leave it up to the members. Toby, you're a good spokesperson for the members. Do I continue doing this, or do I bounce this to members only? So we'll wait for Toby's response. It's a little more, it's looser on a Saturday, the members only thing, and it's all about Q&A. And the thing about the Q&A is if all the people, like, I can't pay attention to all the comments because sometimes we have 200, 250, 300 people watching, and the comments come too quickly for me to read, much less respond to. So this is a time for members like to get questions answered in a little bit of depth, and that's why we do it in the way we do it. So I'll wait for Toby to make the call. I think you've given enough of a sneak peek. Let's go members only. All right, enough of this. We'll talk to all of you throughout the weekend. We'll talk about the Colts game tomorrow. We'll do a Colts post game. We will do an IU basketball post game as well tomorrow as they take on Washington. And then breakfast with Kent, as always, on Monday morning at about 7 o'clock-ish. We'll talk to you then.